of Art Center Live. We're coming to you from the beautiful Marco Island Center for the Arts. My name is Hyla Crane, and I'm the Executive Director, and I'm so happy that you could join us this afternoon. As always, we have a very special guest. Today's guest is Michelle Tricca. She is an artist, a photographer, with a multitude of projects, but the project we're going to kick off talking about is the face of Immokalee. Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we're thrilled. Now, Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about what the face of Immokalee is, why this is a project you wanted to work on, and some of the nuts and bolts of how it's going to roll out, what people can expect to see?
Yes. The Face of Immokalee is a portrait installation celebrating the soul of Immokalee. And through a series of boldly displayed photographs throughout the community of Immokalee, I will be exhibiting residents, their portraits, because I'm a portrait photographer, my medium being portraits. Their portraits will be celebrating the soul of the community via expressions. I'll be capturing expressions, and they'll be displayed in various locations, all in black and white, but in various locations showing the diversity of Immokalee, all ages, all ethnicities, races, ideologies.
That's tremendous. That is quite an undertaking. I see there are some images behind you. Are those some of the images from this project, or just other portraits you've taken?
Yes, these images are actually some of the initial portraits for the project. These specifically were on exhibit at the Collier Commissioners Chambers last year. They asked me to exhibit a series from this work to celebrate Black History Month in 2020, and they ended up keeping them up for an additional month. So they're up February and March of last year.
Wow. Well, they are spectacular.
Thank you.
What with this work, where can people expect for some of the installations to actually be? I think it's hard to imagine sort of the size and scope of what you're talking about. And what is your anticipated timeline to roll out this project? When could people anticipate being able to see this work? Oops, hit my mic, sorry.
That is a very good question, and it's been a work in progress. The project was actually officially approved of by the Immokalee Community Redevelopment Agency in January of 2019. And then with COVID, it was delayed for about a year. I was still doing behind the scenes planning and fundraising, but regarding acquiring portraits, that was stalled for a year. As far as when can we expect to see them? Well, it's a work in progress because I'm in increments doing smaller photo shoots, acquiring images for the initial install. So I right now am partnering with Littman Family Farms. They've offered me use of some of their semi-trailer trucks and surfaces such as a long fence in one of their facilities and their industrial building walls, which I'm really excited about because the scale of these portraits are intended to be massive, bold, and accessible to all. So because these buildings are outdoors and in public, the art will be public for everyone to enjoy. My plan is to install the trucks first. So if you picture a 60-foot long by 8-foot tall semi truck, the portraits will be about 8 by 6 feet, very bold on the side of each truck. And the intention to exhibit on the trucks first is because they'll be mobile. They'll be able to drive around. It's not considered for one specific spot. They can drive through Naples and go on 41 and all the different neighborhoods of Collier County as well through Immokalee, bringing the art to the people. It will help raise awareness and maybe elicit interest by the community of Immokalee so that when the photo shoots progress throughout the year, more people will want to be photographed and collaborate to be part of the installation. And another thing is I'm in the process right now of fundraising. A project of this significance comes with significant cost because of the industrial medium and the installation by which it will be displayed. So I can't give an exact date of when it'll start to be installed. I'm hoping within the next 12 months.
I can only imagine. And as an individual artist, I would assume that you've partnered with an organization so that people donating can indeed make a donation and get a write-off. Is that correct?
Yes, the project actually has a fiscal sponsor. The American Society of Media Photographers Foundation supports photographers working on culturally relevant projects. So as my fiscal sponsor for this project, it allows for people to donate. Individuals and corporations are donating a tax deductible contribution toward the project. So,
that's wonderful. Well, I know that we checked ahead of time, and I'm pretty sure that in our link, in our comments, is the link to your website and the exact page where if people are out there and they want to support this very meaningful, very significant project, that they can be directed to that and can support you as you move forward with this and hopefully move that timeline up, because I think you're right. This is something really spectacular and something that we all want to see. Now, have you ever done anything of this size and scope before, Michelle?
I did a portrait installation in Naples in the Bayshore Arts District in 2011. I actually have a picture right here.
Can I see? Let me see.
Yes.
Because I wasn't here in 2011. I didn't get here until 2014. Wow. So, where is that?
So this project is called A Face in the Crowd. And A Face in the Crowd was a photographic tribute to human diversity. As a portrait photographer and as someone who I moved to Naples in 2005. I struggled the first few years I was here because Naples is perceived as a rich white guy golfer town. And there are many rich white golfer guys, but we are also extremely diverse with people of all walks of life from all over the world. And as a portrait photographer, again, my medium being portrait photography, it's important for me to photograph the human race. And I drove by this building. It was a one-story golf cart repair shop that was in my neighborhood. I drove by this every day, and my artist brain sees blank surfaces as a canvas. So with that said, I was also living in the Bayshore Arts District, and I just thought, I want to do a photo mural of portraits on this wall. I hesitated for a while because Collier being conservative, and we're not exactly the booming metropolis of murals.
Yeah, public art is a little dicey around here. I do agree with you.
So I went into the CRA office one day, presented my idea, and just things flowed so quickly. They loved the idea. I went over, I met the building owner. He said, I love art. You're welcome to use it as a canvas. And just within a month, I had the ball rolling on this. So my intention was to invite everyone who wanted to come to be photographed, and their portrait would be installed on the wall. Just photographs, no names, no stories, because my intention was for the viewer to look up close rather than gloss over an anonymous person. So I wanted the guy who owns the $50 million beach house next to the fella who mows his lawn. And you don't necessarily know who's who when looking at the portraits. The expressions.
So these were very tight in on people's faces.
So these portraits were actually, they were printed 11 by 17 inches on recycled copy paper. I had a local sponsor, an independent copy machine distributor who sponsored me. 11 by 17 copy paper, black and white ink. And so the portraits were installed and all put right next to each other.
And I mean, this just looks so compact and dense. I mean, at the end of the day, how many portraits were on that wall, Michelle?
So it started one weekend in March, and I had about 16 art students from Florida Gulf Coast University. They volunteered to help me in the spirit of not only acquiring experience and learning about producing a public mural, but also they acquired college credit. So I had scaffolding and students helping me administer the photo shoots, but also helping me install. So putting them up in order in the rows as more people came, more people were photographed and made the copies, so they were installed in increments. This particular wall held 600 portraits, and then so many people showed up in subsequent days and weeks. They would hear about it, see it in the press, call me wanting to be part of it. So the building owner gave me permission to use the other side of the wall.
That's so it was incredible.
So again, this is 600. And what I wanted to point out, so this right here, this is a picture of me. It is 8 feet tall by 4 feet wide, and it's in color. That was done on industrial vinyl, and it's the same material that you see on car wraps or on, you see the big Mack trucks going down the highway advertising beverages or Publix grocery store. 3M industrial vinyl is made to endure the elements. It's made to last outside. So
I'm somewhat aware of that just because I think you're aware here on Marco Island, we did our Creative Wraps project, which was a call to artists. And then the artwork that was selected was put on that sort of industrial material that was then wrapped around electrical boxes. So I'm a little familiar with the material. So yes, that will last a lifetime. I just want to ask one question. Were you taking pictures, printing them, and installing them all together in real time?
In real time, yes. So the actual weekend that it started, the weekend in March in 2011, when I had the support of all the FGCU students, it was like a little Willy Wonka factory. Literally, we had people lining up to be photographed. I would shoot them, and then I had an assistant downloading them, printing them out on the copier that was there, and then I had students and scaffolding, and my dad, who's amazing, was holding a big beach umbrella over people to shade them from the sun. They were installing. So in the subsequent weeks, I was sometimes there by myself where I was doing the shooting, or I had a collection of prints that I'd made in the weeks prior and I would install them myself. It was a work in progress over a few months.
So yeah, I was going to say, it took a few months. And how long was the installation up for? How long was it open for? Is it available for the public to enjoy?
So it was up from March through December of 2011. I was under agreement with Collier County to restore the wall to its original Tuscan peach color once it started to deteriorate. Since I had never used this medium, being wheat paste and recycled copy paper, I wasn't sure what to expect for its longevity. So because wheat paste is ephemeral, it does start to peel and crack with exposure to the elements and the humidity and rain and such. So in December, I had it power washed. But the reason I bring this up, this industrial vinyl, is because that remained unscathed. It was removed it looked brand new. So that's the reason I decided to do the face of Immokalee on a much bolder and larger scale, knowing that the 3M industrial vinyl is the ultimate medium to display outside. And with that comes this significant cost for production and also printing and installing.
I know you've got the trucks that are there, and there may be others. I mean, how many portraits do you anticipate, because they're going to be so large in size, do you think will actually be part of the project? I don't think it will. Will you have the space, your canvas, so to speak? You're not going to have 1,000 portraits this time, will you? Or maybe you will. Maybe you're covering every inch of the county. I don't know.
Well, the beauty of this project is that it has potential to grow. I'm doing shoots before the main event.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, the first shoot I did was with, I'm a mentor for the Immokalee Foundation.
Excellent.
So a year and a half ago, I had some of my mentees and their friends do the initial photo shoot. And actually, Shanika was one of them. She's now graduated and in college. So I did the initial photo shoot with them, and I've been up there several other times. Like I did a one-day shoot doing portraits of the students involved with Taste of Immokalee. So I've been acquiring a body of work, and from these images, those will be installed first on the larger surfaces.
Excellent.
But my intention is to include everyone who wants to collaborate and be photographed and be present for this. And by that, I mean, once all the larger images are installed, I will have surfaces that are yet to be determined, larger walls that will include all the portraits. So say I have a main event on a Thursday and on a Sunday sometime in 2022, and invite everyone who wants to be showed up between this time and this time, everyone who wants to participate who shows up between this time and this time. Everyone who comes will be photographed, and they will all get installed on that surface. So
is that more like what you had done before, that there'll be smaller portraits that'll be being installed in real time?
Like this.
Okay.
Yeah, like this. So depending how many people show up, they will all be displayed. If 3 people show up, there'll be 3 massive portraits on this main wall. If 3,000 people showed up, they will all be smaller to accommodate.
Well, that is
it's flexible.
So exciting. I mean, that is so exciting. And I think it's really wonderful that you are a mentor at the Immokalee Foundation. It's an organization that I think does remarkable work. And when you're a mentor, are you a mentor in your capacity as an artist for these kids?
So as a mentor, I am there to support them through school, through deciding on a major and a career and a college, and helping them with that, helping them with areas of academics, generally in life, just basically everything.
But are you able to share? I mean, obviously you come as an artist. You're not walking in there as a scientist or a banker. I think their orientation would be different. An architect or a building inspector. You're coming in as an artist. I mean, mm-hmm. Are those kids interested? Do you ever get kids who are interested in doing what you do?
So, yeah. So with my specific mentees, I have them for the entire year, and we communicate every week. So in addition to that, I also do group mentoring where we'll have, this past year, it's been via Zoom. So it'll be myself, and I'll be staring at, 30 or 40 kids staring at me Brady Bunch style on a screen, just with blank faces. I have no idea what they're thinking. And I ask them initially at the start of the presentation, what do you guys think it means to be an artist? What do you think it is I do as a photographer? Because I think that people just think I just click.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I agree. Because I run an art center, I'm intimately aware of the fact that photography, like painting, like sculpting, working in clay, it's one thing to click pictures the way we do on our phone or even with a camera to record your vacation. It is a very different thing when people are artists who happen to use their camera and photography as a medium. And I certainly know, having taken some photography classes, I can shoot pictures to make sure that, we've captured what's going on here, but I am not an artist with a camera at all. So can you talk a little bit about why you chose this medium and what it is to be an artist who works with photography?
That's a lot.
Well, let's break it up. How did you suddenly become a photographer, Michelle?
Okay, this is how it happened. I was going to school for broadcast journalism. I have no artistic skills. I can't paint or draw. I can draw like hangmen, stick figures. And second semester, senior year, I realized that I had yet to complete my art requirement to graduate. I took advanced art photography that second semester senior year. The summer before, I had taken black and white darkroom. I learned the old school way in a darkroom and processed our film with chemicals and such. I loved it. So taking advanced art photography, I was obsessed. I would wake up every Saturday and Sunday morning, on the weekends, getting up and going in the darkroom to develop film and make prints. And then I got little jobs for the college yearbook in the newspaper. That's literally all I wanted to do. And when I graduated, I told my parents that I wanted to be a photographer. I was like, that was it. There was just no doubt. Also in college, do you remember W Magazine? It used to come as it was a newspaper.
I do remember.
So W Magazine was a folded, glossy color newspaper, and I loved it. I mean, I would look forward to that in the mail every month, and you'd open it up to these full fashion spreads, and my entire room was wallpapered with W Magazine. And I just, because I was working on assignments for advanced art photography, I was shooting my friends and the lacrosse team. I'm like, that's literally all I did. I always loved photography, but I was just like, it chose me. That was it. So
I think that's frequently the case with artists. There is just it's like gravity pulls you, and you suddenly realize it's the only thing you can do. Now, obviously, I know photographers here. They do nature shoots. We get a lot of that, or they travel and do wildlife, or we see a lot of panographic. The wonders of sun, sand. Just if we're shooting here, why portraits? Why is that your focus?
Portraits influence not only how people are perceived, but I think they have the power to impact the way people perceive themselves.
I agree. We did an exhibition here at one time called I See You, not like the hospital, not I see you, I see you. And all of the art looked out at the people. And there was a level of connection and engagement when suddenly, whether it was people, sometimes it was animals, were looking directly at you in terms of how you connected with that art, how it engaged you, how it drew you in. So I think that the work is beautiful. So here you are, you're in school, you've now done this for a while. Who or what, and there may be more than one, have been very influential in your work as an artist?
Gosh, there have been so many things come to mind. It was in college, I took that advanced art photography, and that's just when I knew what I wanted to do. But also, I think I remember back in high school, I was shy in high school. Like I was the neutral girl. I wasn't in a clique. I had friends from all different groups, and I really admired one of my friends. She was actually the sister of a friend. Who she was, the popular girl, and very cliquey and always doing fun stuff, very social. And I always admired going over their house and seeing her framed photos everywhere of her friends and all their fun frolics. And it just always impacted me, because photographs are, it's cliche, they freeze a moment in time, but it's so true. Because when all is gone and nothing is left, memories shine bright. And those memories are a lot of time elicited by viewing a photograph.
Absolutely.
So it's just, I guess it's a feeling. Because I'm a sentimentalist and being an artist, and I love people and, emotions and connecting with people and laughing. It just all came together. It just made sense. I was always drawn to photographing people. So I took the advanced art photography, and then that's when I knew this is for sure what I want to do. And then moving to California after college, I connected with the rep for Canon USA and the Kodak rep. They became my friends, and I attended a lot of events with them, and I became friends with some Los Angeles Times photojournalists, and who ended up mentoring me. And they would always tell me, you're going to make your money shooting people. And at that time, being fresh out of college, I was shooting for a surf company. I was shooting their surfers, and I was shooting for a model management company, building portfolios. And it's just like, that's all I wanted to do. I've never lost interest in it. And then moving out to Hawaii after a few years, another influence regarding sticking with it, because I know a lot of people want to do art, are interested in art, are creative, but they have a real job to pay the bills, as they say. For me, it's because I was in a near fatal car crash the year after college when I was 24 years old.
I didn't know that.
In Southern California. And that was really, truly a spiritual awakening for me. I think when you almost lose your life, you become part of this tribe. So at 24 years old, I was on life support as my lung collapsed. I had collapsed bones in my right arm and leg. And it was absolutely profound, having woken up from that, being physically disabled, and then going through the whole process of healing and knowing, there's no way. I'm 24 years old. I haven't lived. There's no way this can be it. So I worked hard to regain use of my arm and leg, and I healed over 6 months. I was in a wheelchair for a while, but I regained use of my arm and leg, and I was making this bucket list when I was going through intensive physical therapy. And the first thing on my list was to go on an African safari. And I had moved to Hawaii and all these things on the list, but it was also like, your life starts today. And I was temping at the time to pay the bills, being fresh out of college, but I decided I don't want to look back whenever I'm on my deathbed, age 56, 75, 95. I don't want to ever look back with regrets. So I know for myself, I am curious about the world. I want to see it, and I want to photograph it, and I want to share my experience with everyone through photographs. And that starts now. So as soon as I got a clean bill of health and was able to walk without a cane and a walker and such, I signed up and went on an African safari, and I got a sponsorship from Canon and Kodak, and I've just been living my life like that ever since. So the car crash, to answer your question, was a major influence in me being and living life as a photographer.
That's
so it's not just a career. It's not just a career and a means to pay the bills. Well, also because I have no other skills. But it's not only a means to pay the bills, but it's also my lifestyle and just who I am.
Well, congratulations to you. I didn't realize you had gone through that, and thank goodness that you did make a full recovery, and we are all the better for it, because your artwork enlivens and enriches all of us, and I am so looking forward to when the face of Immokalee is mounted and we can go and see it. Bravo to you. Again, I encourage people. This is a major installation, an incredible community building work of art. So please consider supporting the face of Immokalee. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing the information about your project and your story today. We so appreciate that. I want to let my friends out there know that next, there are only 3 more days that the amazing exhibition Out of the Ordinary, presented by the Art Quilters Unlimited, will be with us. Tuesday will be its last day. So if you haven't seen it, come on down now. Our next exhibition will be the opening reception will be July 13th. It should be open to the public July 12th. It's entitled The Duality of Artistry. It's artists who work in 2 different mediums, and we're going to see what it looks like, what the juxtaposition looks like when we pair them together. David Fuller will be going into our La Petite artist, and on July 15th, we're going to be joined by Stephen McGuire, former federal judge and now the author of Prior Restraint, a political thriller. And well, it's fiction. You very much wonder whether could it be happening today. So come join us for our second Tuesday reception on July 13th. Of course, you'll have a complimentary glass of wine, and we'll have one waiting for you on July 15th for our book talk and book signing. Michelle, I want to thank you again. It has been such a treat to have a chance to talk with you. I wish you well on this amazing journey that you are on to create something that is so relevant to the community and such a gift to us all. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
To my friends out there, it's a little quiet here this summer, so if you happen to be on Marco, come and see us. You know, once you cross our threshold, you become part of our art family, and every day, in every way, we strive to be your art home. Take care, everybody, and have a happy 4th of July weekend. Bye-bye.